MBS and Beer Media. It's Top of the Bleachers with Jason and Tucker.
Handoff, Smith coming right, trying to outrun the coverage, makes a cut, gets it. Oh, he's still going. Oh, he's going to score. He's got the ball.
Let's see what the guys are talking about today.
Hey, welcome in to the Top of the Bleachers. I'm your host, Jason Big Guthrie, and this is my co-host, Tuck Scarbrough, and we're here to talk about sports and hang out and chat. We're going to talk about some NBA Finals, a little Arkansas baseball, some Dallas Cowboys stuff. Kind of got a lot to talk about today, so doing good, man. How's your Monday? Are you, I know you said you didn't feel very good the other day. You feeling better, or at least on the mend, or what we got? How you feeling?
I have a hernia.
Uh-oh.
I'm 48 years old and I have a hernia. I've never been cut on before, and I guess they want to do surgery on me. I'm not real happy about it, but it's enough discomfort that I'm going to let them do it as soon as possible. But I mean, it's not debilitating. That's a tough word for a Southern boy. Okay. It's not keeping me down or anything. It is keeping me away from work because my job, I do a lot of lifting and stuff. So, I had to use some sick leave, but that's the reason I got sick leave. So it could end up about 4 or 5 weeks of sick leave. I will go stir crazy in this house if I have to sit around here for that long. Especially the way Lace is talking, because it's like, you can't lift a jug of milk. Like, oh my gosh, really?
Dang, I was hoping we could go golfing. You ain't gonna be able to go golfing or nothing. That stinks.
Ooh, laughing kind of hurts, and coughing kind of hurts. So
I'll try not to make you
I hope that during this this podcast that you make me hurt quite a bit, because I like to laugh.
Okay. Well, I'm doing well. I actually went and looked at the ultrasound for grandbaby number 2 today, and saw the little face. And I don't know the gender yet. They're doing a gender reveal on Saturday, so I'm going to do that. And then I'm headed down to Conway actually right after that. But saw a little face, little arms, little heart beating. Everything looks good, all healthy. So we're excited about that, and then and glad everything's healthy, and Courtney's healthy. Everybody's doing well. So it's a weird thing being a grandparent, man. It's weird.
Well,
I'm not that old.
I'd have to take your word for it, because I didn't even do the first parent thing. So the grandparent thing is way beyond. I see Bobby Otten's already in the comments. Thank you, Bobby, for showing up.
Man, Bobby, what a good day, man. What do you say here? Split up Street Arkansas football for 2 guys from Littles. Yeah, they're doing a lot of getting a lot of commits here the last few days. No big 4 or 5 stars, but I like the linemen that they're getting. We'll see how that pans out, and we'll talk more about that when we talk about football. But anything else going on, man, you want to talk about before we get started?
No, man. Everything's good on my end. I'm ready to talk some actual sport, not what I've been seeing on TV. Hey, did you hear that Caitlin Clark got fouled?
Hey, she about got her head took off from what I saw.
She about got her head took off. I went back and watched like 7 or 8 highlights from flagrant fouls in the WNBA. That was it. It was a flagrant foul. I mean, she got her in the head. Don't get me wrong.
She was going for ball.
I saw one girl take an elbow to the face. Looked like she lost 3 teeth. I mean, this is a tough league, man. And I like the way she handled it afterwards. She was like, it's a basketball play. Hey, stuff happens, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's how you got to handle it, because they're trying to make a story out of anything that she does. They are just hoping. Half of them are hoping that she becomes this huge star, and half of them are hoping that she falls off her pedestal, never to return.
Yep.
And I do not envy this girl's position, other than some of the money she's making. She's making some pretty good money from
That shoe
endorsements.
deal, yeah, that shoe deal was nice. So she
Yeah,
did good. I saw that. And I didn't think it was that hard of a foul. She was going for ball. She missed the ball, hit her in the head. Like,
yeah.
how many times does that happen? You know what I mean?
An
A
elbow
bunch.
to the elbow to the ear does hurt. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
she got up.
All right.
Oh
So
wait. Did you hear
oh.
Clay Thompson unfollowed the Warrior?
I did hear that.
So these are the two top stories on ESPN today. Okay,
It's bad. It's bad right now.
It is bad right now. I
Call-
did watch a little bit of the College World Series. Florida advanced. Whoopee, happy about
Yeah,
that. Sure.
Tennessee did too. Late.
Yeah, did they? So it's hard once the Hogs get eliminated, which is every year. But once the Hogs get eliminated, I lose interest in it. I know that's
Yeah.
a terrible sports fan, but to me, baseball, golf, and bowling are best watched live. They're not something, and most of them are better if you participate.
Yeah, I've never been to a live golf event. I mean, I've been in a couple that I lost horribly, but I never like went to like a PGA event or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I always
That'd be
wondered,
pretty cool.
if you did get like tickets to go to, say, the Open or, Augusta or something like that, do you pick one hole and just watch everybody come by and play that one hole? Or do you pick a player and follow him through the whole course?
Well, you said Augusta, right? That's the one with Amen Corner.
Oh man, I'd be lying to you. I'm not that up on my.
The one where it's a par 3, but it's the island out in the middle of the water.
Oh yeah. I think that's Sawgrass.
I want to be at that one. I want to go to that
Yeah.
one. I want to watch that hole all day. I want to watch him hit it into the water and be like, yes, I'm not alone on these par 3s.
See, I think I would rather like pick me a player, a Tiger or a Rory or somebody like that, and just follow them through, because you're going to get to see the guy who plays with them. A lot of times you're going to get to watch other people tee off on other tees because the tees are so close together.
Yeah.
So
Bobby said he'd stay on one hole.
Yeah. And it would depend on the hole. I mean, if the island hole or Amen Corner or some of these famous ones, yeah. It also depends on how hot it was out. I might not want to walk all over the place.
No kidding. All right. Well, let's get into it. I'm kind of excited about this one again. I like this top 5 thing we're doing.
So far, so good.
This is kind of fun. And I was thinking, man, we're around the top 5 things. And then I was like, man, there's so many things you could do top 5s on. I mean, there's so many things. Anyway.
I heard this is off subject, but I heard a guy on the radio the other day, and he was doing a list of rock bands that had never had a number one hit, a number one single. They might have had a number one album, but never a number one single. Okay. And he started off naming off bands like Metallica, AC/DC, Journey, Bruce Springsteen, all these guys. I was like, oh, this is like gold. I should be writing this down for the show for our top 5 or whatever.
What?
Yeah, it surprised me too, man. The names on that list are crazy.
That's nuts. Well, today's topic is NBA top 6 man of all time, and I didn't put any kind of borders or boundaries on anything. Like it had to be a 6-man award winner, or it had to be only a 6-man or whatever. Just I figured if you won the 6-man award, you should be on the list. So
amen.
That's kind of where I started, and I will note one thing, because honorable mention. I don't know if you made your list or not, but John Havlicek.
Oh well, no, that was before. No, that's before the award.
Is it before the award?
That's so before the award.
He did not make my list, but his stats were nuts, and he was 6-man for a long time, and the reason they won a lot of those championships. So it's kind of a shame to leave him off, but I left him off. I did leave him off. I only picked sixth Man of the Year award winners. I don't even know what year that started, but it looked like around
1980.
83.
1980. Yeah.
Okay, I knew it was somewhere around then.
I've got it written down here somewhere.
Okay.
1982 to 83 season was the very first man, or very first
six man.
And then can you name the very first person to win it?
1982. Oh, geez.
I have lost all my paper. Oh, there it is. Bobby Jones.
Man, I was gonna say that. No lie, I was gonna say that for real.
Bobby Jones, very first six-man award winner.
I couldn't decide if he was a starter or a six man.
Only one Razorback on the six-man list.
Saw that. Honorable mention on my list.
Honorable mention. He did not make the top 5. He didn't, but
Big
yes,
Nasty.
Big Nasty gets a big shout out.
Corliss Williamson. Yep. Okay. All right. Well, did you number yours 1 through 5? I guess again, or did you?
Yeah.
Or you just random?
No. 1 through 5.
All right, 1 through 5. All right. Give me number. You can go first. You give me number 5, and then I'll go with my number 5.
Okay, number 5. Okay, like I said, like Big said, I went by if you won the award. Okay, and then you jumped up big on my award if you won it twice. And then you jumped up big time on my list if you won it back to back. Okay, because that means you were playing hella ball for 2 years in a row. Okay.
Okay. All right.
So my very first, Kevin McHale. Kevin McHale, 2-time back to back six-man of the year award winner.
Mm-hmm.
Several NBA championships. And is part of one of the greatest teams to play in the NBA, as much as it pains me to say that.
Okay, that's your number 5?
That's my number 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's on my list, but he's not number 5.
All right. Who you got for number 5?
Number 5, I don't know this player that well. I knew the name, but Lou Williams.
Lou Williams.
2017, 2018. 22 points a game off the bench. That's contributing, man. That's big time contribution. If I can spit it out. And that's the most points any sixth man has scored.
Wow.
I looked that up. I was like, that sounds like a lot because I didn't see anybody else that had that amount on there. So he had to make the list. He's the top scorer out of all the six-man award winners. So that was my number 5. Who's your number 4?
My number 4, one of your favorite players. Matter of fact, you had a little poster of him, Ricky Pierce.
Ricky Pierce,
2-time six-man of the year. He
3
won
times.
2 times. Oh, did he win it 3?
I got 3. Let me look this up. Go ahead, though. Ricky Pierce, 2-time winner.
2-time winner, 87 and 90. He won it.
87 and 90?
87 and 90. And I don't see him on the list anywhere else.
Okay. Maybe I wrote it down wrong. That's fine.
2-time, as far as I know, 87 and 90. Ricky Pierce never won a championship. Never even really got to play on a good team. Ricky Pierce was still coming off the bench and pretty much getting wins for his team. Probably on a lot of teams at that time, he would have been a starter. Good shooting guard, excellent ball handling skills. Man, that's my number 4.
What year was that? 87, right?
87 and 90.
And 90. I could have swore you won one after that, but I'm not seeing it on here, so.
Told you, man. I did my research.
Well, that sucks because I had him number 1. That was my number 1.
Well, that's all right.
3-time winner. Yeah, because he was one of my favorite players. I really like.
I know you loved Ricky Pierce. I know.
Number 4 on my list was Detlef Schrempf.
Detlef.
2-time back-to-back, like you said,
back to back.
17 point. The best out of those 2 years. 17 points, 9 rebounds. That's almost a double-double. That's pretty good for off the bench, especially. And that was in 91, 92. I remember that. I remember watching him play a lot, and he was really good, man. I liked him. That was my number 4. I like I said, my top 3 I thought were the better players. So that's
All
it.
right,
Go ahead.
my number 3 is Detlef Shrimp. I had Detlef Shrimp at number 3. The only reason that I put Ricky Pierce ahead of Kevin McHale is because I liked Ricky Pierce more. It was a personal preference.
Me too.
And the only reason Detlef Shrimp got ahead of Ricky Pierce is because it was a personal preference. I liked Detlef Shrimp better than I liked Ricky Pierce. 2-time back-to-back sixth man of the year. Again, no championships. McHale so far on the list is the only one that ever amounted to any championships.
My number 3.
The 2 I've got left that did not win championships.
My number 3 did. Mono Ginobili.
Dude, Mono was a big honorable mention on my list. As a matter of fact, a lot of these names on this list, it's like, dude, if you could have just won one more, I'd have put you in the top 5. But
so just because he didn't win 2,
dude, you're not better than the other 6 men out there if you only won 1.
Good though. Mono was good.
Mono was good.
I had him at 3, 19.5 points, 4.8 rebounds. And you know how much he impacted the game for them. Like he was a totally big piece of that team, which was a really good team too, with Duncan and Parker and those guys. Big Shot Bob that we talked about.
Big Shot Bob's on this list. I was going to bring that up in a minute.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He didn't win. He didn't win one either. I was surprised about that too.
He did. Big Shot Bob did.
He won one?
Yeah, Robert Ory won one. I was pretty sure he was on the list. Is he not on the list?
Wasn't on mine that I saw. I don't know if I had a full list.
I also was surprised Vinnie Johnson was not on this list. Vinnie Johnson never won the 6th man of the year award.
Yeah, he never won it. He's on my honorable mention because I really like. I mean, I hated him.
The microwave, man.
But
I hated that guy. He would get hot, man. He would put down like 20 in no time flat.
He was so good. Here's my top 5: Lou Williams, Detlef Shrimp, Mono Ginobili, Kevin McHale, Ricky Pierce.
Okay, so here's my top 5 would have been Kevin McHale, Ricky Pierce, Detlef Shrimp. Then I'm going to go with Jamal Crawford. Jamal Crawford won it 3 times. He's a 3-time champion. But my number 1 is Lou Williams. Not only has he won it 3 times, but one of those times was back-to-back. He went back-to-back, and then he took a year off, and then he come back as a 6th man again. Lou Williams is also one of the most consistent. How he's not a starter or wasn't a starter, I have no idea, because he had such a good game, especially playing for the Clippers. I mean, I can't remember what year it was, but they had one year where like half their team got hurt, and all they had was Lou Williams, and Lou Williams was bringing them back and winning ball games, man.
Yeah.
So Lou Williams made number 1 on my list.
I didn't remember him that well for some reason. Well, our list is completely flipped then. Like just like this. We're totally backwards from one another. That's crazy.
Now, some honorable mentions that, I mean, this list, when you go down it, I mean, Bobby Jones, Kevin McHale, Bill Walton, you got Clifford Robinson. Clifford Robinson won one. I think that's hilarious. Anthony Mason, John Starks.
You know else did win one? Wait, see.
Who?
Michael Cooper.
Yeah, I know. He's on every Michael Jordan dunk poster that there is out there.
6 man. I can't believe that though. Like I can believe it, but I was kind of surprised that he didn't.
Well, it's one of those awards that they only give out one, and there's 32 6-man out there.
There you go. Bobby says sometimes 6-man plays more minutes than the starter replace, which is wild to think about. Yeah, that's true. I've noticed that's sort of a trend here lately. I've noticed a little bit, especially in college. Well, Coach Cal took a lot of heat for it for Kentucky, but he had 2 5-stars coming off the bench. So,
Also, man, there are just some guys just do better coming
So
off the
rugged.
bench. Yeah.
That's true. Very true. Well, that's a good list. My honorable mention: John Havlicek, Jamal Crawford. I had him on there. Corliss, Michael Cooper, and Vinnie Johnson. I was really surprised about Michael Cooper and Vinnie Johnson. Those two, I guess probably because they were a big part of my childhood, and I watched them a lot, But I have fond memories of watching them. So
The two that surprised me the most was Danny Manning won it one year.
I saw
And
that.
I always remember Danny Manning as a starter, never as a six man. And the same with Antoine Jameson.
Yeah,
Like I remember him as a starter, not as a six man.
I remember when he won that actually. But yeah, he was a starter a lot
those
too.
were the two that surprised me the most.
Yeah.
Oh, and
Okay.
Steph's daddy got one time. Dale Curry.
Dale Curry got one. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I did see that. Well, that's good stuff. Good list, man. I like the top 5. I think we keep doing that. That's good stuff. So we'll segue right into some NCAA basketball. Let's keep it on the basketball train today. And of course, the way too early top 10 basketball polls are out, and they're all over the place. They're crazy. It's depending on who's the one you want to look at or where they're at. So I thought it'd be fun if we did the same thing. Before we start talking about that, though, I did want to tell you something. I don't know if you had heard about this, but have you heard about this new era players tournament that they're going to have in Las Vegas? Oh, you're breaking up a little bit on me there. There's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams this year. They're going to play. They all get $1 million just for playing to go towards their meal. And then I think the winner is going to get another prize. I don't know if they come out with all the details yet about that, but this would be the first of probably many of this type of tournaments that are going to be coming. They already said they want to expand this tournament itself to 18 teams next year. So that's a pretty big tournament. It's also going to be right in the middle of Thanksgiving week. Which there's a lot of football. There's a lot of college football. There's going to be a lot of NFL going on at that time. So they're going to be competing with some of that stuff. So have you heard about this new era players tournament?
No, I haven't heard about this. Can you tell me the 8 teams that are in it?
Yeah. So right now, the 8 that are committed: Alabama, Creighton, Houston, Notre Dame, Oregon, Rutgers, San Diego State, and Texas A&M.
That's a solid list.
Yeah, I mean, you would think, I don't know. I'm a little torn because there's 2 sides to look at it, right? There's the one side where you say, I want all the best teams. I want the Duke, North Carolina. I want the Arkansas. I want the Michigans, the Houston, the Kansas. I want all those big teams in one tournament, right? The other side of it is what about all these little small schools that don't get that meal money? Like, are they going to have their own tournaments, or are they going to get invites to this as well? Like San Diego State's not a big school, and they got the invite. So
there was another one in there too, Rutgers.
Rutgers is not real big. Yeah,
they're not. Well, they've never really done anything in basketball.
Well, you wouldn't consider Houston a big school either. I mean, they're a good basketball team.
All the other teams though made the tourney last year. You got Creighton in there, you got Alabama in there, you got all those other teams that made the tourney last year. Rutgers stands out.
Yeah, and
even San Diego State made the tourney last year and has made a couple of really good runs in the tourney.
Did Notre Dame make
the only one? Oh no, Notre Dame. Did you say them?
Yeah, Notre Dame. I'm not sure they made the tournament last year, but they may be the only one that didn't.
Why does Notre Dame always get invited to stuff and they suck every year? They suck at basketball. They go 10-2 in football every year. They underachieve every year. Why do they get invited to everything?
Yeah,
I don't understand.
I
think you take out, in my opinion, you take out Rutgers and Notre Dame, and you
That's not good. Former San Diego State went to jail for sports gambling. That's not good. Anyway,
you take out Rutgers, you take out Notre Dame, and you stick in, I don't know, a couple of mid majors that actually made the tourney last year. Let in a Mount St. Mary's or
yeah, like it would really help them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it'd help them out a lot, and you could still have some. They would still have credibility because they made the tournament the year before, but they're still in mid major, so they get some NIL money. And who knows? Mount St. Mary's might come out and whoop the dog tar out of somebody. Who knows?
There you go. Bobby's got your back, bro.
I would have to take your word for it, man. If it's got the word Notre Dame on it, I usually avoid it.
Their women's basketball team's been really good for a while. So I don't know if they're good now, but they were good a few years ago.
Yeah, that's great.
So anyway, all right. So, but today I just wanted to tell you about that in case you hadn't heard it, because I saw it and I thought, man, that's very interesting. There's a lot of things that could happen with that. So, and especially if they want to expand it and keep getting bigger. So, but anyway, so way too early top 10 NCAA basketball poll. How did you struggle with this? How'd you what do you think?
I kind of cheated on this one. I just kind of went with the top 20 last year at the end of the year, and then I just kind of looked at who was returning and what they had, and I kind of went from there.
Yeah. Okay. I have watched,
but there's also one or two personal favorites in there. I'm pretty sure the Hog should be in the top 10.
Don't go completely homer on me here, but
I can't guarantee that, man.
I'm probably going a little homer too, but anyway, some of these teams I know more about than others just because I've stayed in tune to the transfer portal. So especially the top 5, I know a little bit better, but after the top 5, it starts getting kind of just based on what I've heard and read and seen and stuff. So how about you do your top 10 through 6, so 10 through 6, I guess. Those first 5.
Oh, let's just go number 1 through 10, man. I mean, let's just get it over with. Everybody's got the same person at number 1, right? Did anybody put somebody other than UConn at number 1? Because that would be silly. Okay.
Alabama's on a lot of number 1s.
Well, that's silly. UConn just won the title. They got quite a bit coming back. They kept their head coach. Why would you pick somebody other than you?
Yeah, I agree. They got Hurley back. They got Caravan came back from the NBA draft. They got Liam McNeely, the 5-star recruit. Yeah, they're reloaded. So
I'm also of the opinion, like, until you beat the man, you can't really claim to be the man. Okay. And that right now they're at the top of the mountain.
Yep.
I mean, until Boston actually puts away the Mavericks, the Nuggets are the reigning NBA champions. You know what I'm saying? Even though they got put out 5 rounds ago, right now they are the reigning NBA champions until whatever happens.
Yeah, I agree. I had UConn at 1 too. So, and then number 2, I had Alabama because they have reloaded, man. They've got Sears back. They got that Grant kid back. They got a bunch of good recruits in. They got that Clifford, I can't even say his last name, from Rutgers, who's going to play center and block every shot that comes in there now. They're going to be good. They're going to be really good. I think they'll probably win the SEC. Well, I know they're going to. I have them picked to win SEC because I have them ranked number 2. So that's my number 2.
You and I are on the same page, man. That's who I
had.
I had as my number 2. As much as it pained me to do it, they were really good last year, and they've only gotten better. Like we're saying, this is way too early top 10, so a lot can happen between now and the beginning of the season. Couple of injuries, you end up from number 2 all the way down to not even in the top 25. So
Yeah.
I hope you're right, Bobby. I hope you're right.
All right, number 3. Who'd you have at number 3?
Number 3, way too early, top 10 basketball. I got the University of Arkansas, the Razorbacks.
I told you not to homer me here.
Number 3, I didn't put them at number 1. We got Cal coming in. We got Big Z coming in. Even though I've rooted against the man and thought he was trash for the last 20-something years, Cal knows how to coach. He knows how to get his kids to buy in. I'm a little bit nervous about our depth, but it's something I think we can overcome. Now, like I said about Alabama, if one injury, man, can really, really hurt this team because we are not that deep and he's not really filling the bench spots. We heard that Trevin Brazil came back. Now, I don't know if Arkansas fans are happy about that or if they were hoping he would transfer somewhere else or what. I was not really impressed with Trevin Brazil last year. He had a really terrible season. I personally thought a lot of it had to do with effort. I thought he was being quite lazy out there, and I felt like he had the attitude like he just had to show up and he was going to get to go in the NBA draft. And he kind of hurt his draft position instead of helping it out. So I'm hoping for a bounce back year from him. I think he's going to be really surprised because he ain't starting. He's probably coming off the bench with the kids we got coming to Arkansas. He's probably coming off the bench.
I think it's coming out that he was. I think he wasn't over the knee injury from the first year, or whatever. That's the big deal, and he actually performed pretty well at the combine and stuff. He did well, and I think this course is all best case scenario, and I'm hoping that Coach Cal can coach some of that effort back into him a little bit. I really honestly believe he was hurt more than he was put on because he didn't do anything but stand in the corner, and that's a lot on Muss as well. I mean, you're just going to stand your most athletic dude over in the corner and let him shoot threes and let everybody else run pick and rolls. Like, what are we doing? So I think this will be a new change for him. I think they'll be good. I don't have him nearly as high as number 3. I don't have them that high. But I like them a lot. I think they're super talented. So, but not that high.
To answer your question, Bobby, a successful season this year, honestly, would be a round of 32. At least make the tourney. I'd love to make the round of 32. I don't want to make the tourney and get beat out in the first round. I think Cal's got the talent. He can do it. It's a tough league. I mean, we play in the SEC and we're adding Texas and OU this year, so it's only getting harder. So, but I think realistically, I think Hog fans are looking for the tourney, and we'd like to win in a round. We don't want to go home early.
Yeah.
I think if Cal does make the tourney and he goes home early, oh, you watch the Kentucky fans come out of the woodworks. Oh, we've been living with this for the last so many years or whatever. But I think he's also got a grace period. Like he's coming into a situation where he's got one returning player. That's it. And we didn't even know he was returning till a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. So I honestly believe that making the tourney would be a successful season. Don't want to be a bubble team. I'd like to be decently seeded, but it's a long season and there are so many variables in basketball.
With this team, especially because you got, what if the 3 freshmen pan out and are really good? What if DJ Wagner makes another step forward and is good? What if Big Z takes another good, has a good step, has a good off season in the summer because he didn't last year, and is a stud this season? I mean, there's a lot of ifs with this team, but if all those ifs come out and they play like what their the potential is, I think round of 32. At least I don't know SEC, at least a couple wins in that tournament as well. And just an overall pretty good season. But yeah, I think
I
the talent's
don't
there, but there's some ifs for sure.
I don't want to go into the season or into the SEC tourney like we had the last couple of years where we gotta win a couple of games to shore up our spot. I want our spot shored up before we even hit the SEC tournament.
Yeah, not being a bubble
Now
team.
you were talking about him bringing that fire and passion back to Trevin Brazil. I think you might see that out of Cal himself this year because he's got a little something to prove after what happened in Kentucky, and I think he's gonna come in. I think he's gonna come in on fire, and I think he's gonna coach these boys up. I really hope that's what happens.
All right. Well, I don't have him that high, but my number 3 was Kansas, and they are loaded again.
Kansas is
They got
looking
Hunter
good.
Dickinson back. Hunter Dickinson's back. The guy, the troll that loves to be hated.
Yeah.
And then they just reloaded with some new guys. They got AJ Store from Wisconsin. They got some other big transfers in, and of course, their high school recruits are studs as well. So they're gonna be good. I got them number 3. Who's your
Number 3, I have
3?
Yeah. I have the
You had
Dukies.
At
Or number 4, sorry. I have the Dukies, man.
You got Duke, okay.
Duke's returning a lot. They're looking good. They always do, which sucks. But again, it's one of those things where it's a way too early top 10.
Yeah.
So
they're actually not.
Duke's always seems like in the top 10, kind of like Notre Dame in football. So you might as well just go ahead and stick them in there somewhere. So they get my number 4 spot.
They actually don't have hardly anybody coming back. They lost a lot of people. But they got a bunch of transfers and they got a bunch of stud freshmen. They got Cooper Flagg.
Yeah.
And I can't think of the other guy's name. He's another post player too. What is that guy named? Munich or something like that. I can't remember, but and a couple others as well. And then they got some of a couple of top transfers too. So no doubt they're going to be good, and they'll go as far as Cooper Flagg takes them, and that guy is a stud. So we'll see. I don't have them ranked that high, but they are in my top 10. My number 4 is Baylor. I think Scott Drew's done a good job at getting transfers in. He got Normier from Miami, who's a double machine. They got Jeremy Roach from Duke. He transferred to Baylor. So that's going to help them. And then they've got one of the top freshmen coming into well, I think they have 2 actually, but one of them is really high ranked, like the number 2 ranked player or something like that. So I think Baylor is going to be they're going to be pretty good. The Big 12 overall is going to be stacked, man. They're really good. So that's my number 4.
The great thing about the Big 12 being stacked, just like the SEC, is they're going to beat up on each other a lot. So
yeah, that's true.
I'm going to go with what number are we at? We at 5.
Yeah,
I got the Gonzaga Bulldogs.
Okay. I don't know a whole lot about them right now. I know they got Khalif Battle.
Yeah, they did pick up Khalif Battle. They did.
Yeah, I know they're supposed to be good. Of course, they play in a weaker conference, so some of the couple things I watched, the guys were like, "Yeah, they're going to be 31-2 again, just like every year, and then probably losing the tournament." So, but I suspect they'll be highly ranked. I have them in my top 10, but not number 4. That was right. Number 5.
No, I did number 5. You're doing number 5.
Number 5, I got Houston. They got a bunch of people coming back. They did lose Jamal Shed, their point guard, who's really good. He's in the draft. But they got some studs coming in, and they're going to be good.
Yeah, they picked up that Milo Uzan from OU.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're trying to use him to replace Shed scoring or whatever.
Point guard.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Who's your number 6?
My number 6 was Houston. That's why I knew the little tidbit about OU.
Okay. My number 6 is Iowa State. I know
Yeah.
they're bringing back a bunch and are reloaded. They were, I think, a 2 seed in the tournament last year, and they're going to be just as good this year. So I've got them number 6. Who you got for number 7?
Iowa State.
Okay. All right. I like them. They're going to be good. My number 7 is Duke. My number 7 was Duke. So
other than Arkansas, we've had pretty much the same list.
Pretty much the same so far, yeah. And then 7 Duke, 8 is Gonzaga, which you already had on there.
Yeah, at 8, I went ahead and put the North Carolina Tar Heels in there.
Okay. Okay.
RJ Davis came back.
Yep.
They picked up this kid from Belmont. I remember him from the tourney. He played really well. His name's like Cade.
Yep.
Cade Tyson or something like that.
Yeah.
And they were, they were pretty decent last year. So that's who I'm going with.
The only thing they don't have a center really. That's the only thing I don't know about them too. We're trying to get one in the portal, and they missed on a couple of big ones. One was Adu, which is who we got. He was going to visit them after he left us, and we committed him before he left.
We tied him up in the basement and said, "You can't go."
Yeah, Cal didn't let him get out of there. Number 8, I had Gonzaga. Number 9, I had Creighton. They're returning a bunch of people, and that one kid that was in the draft, I can't say his name. I can't even say his name. He's a really good shooter, and they're returning some guys, and I think they're going to be good.
Yeah,
they're good every year, pretty much, anyway. So, who's number 9?
Number 9, I got the Tennessee Volunteers. As much as I don't like him, Rick Barnes knows how to coach. He's always in the mix every year. He's kind of like the coach of the number 10 team that I have. He's always in the mix. He lost Connect, but he picked up a couple of transfers and he had quite a bit of depth last year. So I'm thinking he's probably going to be in good shape. Yeah. And like I said, Tennessee, ever since when he coached at Texas, he was a good coach.
Yeah.
Did he go from Texas to Tennessee, or was there one other stop? I want to say it was one other stop, but I don't remember.
I don't think so.
He's done well everywhere he's gone, and he'll do well again this year, just like he always does. They're one of the teams that when it's time for Arkansas to play, I'm like, Tennessee.
Yeah, they're going to be good again this year.
In every sport, too. I don't like playing them in basketball, football, or baseball. They're usually pretty good in all 3 of them. In football, probably their most down sport lately, and they're still winning 9-10 ball games a year. So,
my number 10 is Arkansas.
You were a homer just now.
I homered them in there at the very end, but probably, honestly, I don't know if they really should be ranked that high. But they like I told you a while ago, there's so many ifs about them. Like if this happens, and if this happens, and if this happens, they're Final Four team. You know what I mean? I mean that's but there's so many ifs. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna have to prove it. They're gonna have to prove it before I like you're in the top 5 team or whatever. So, but that's my list. So UConn, Alabama, Kansas, Baylor, Houston, Iowa State, Duke, Gonzaga, Creighton, Arkansas. That's my top 10.
My last one, my number 10, the Auburn Tigers. As much as I dislike Bruce Pearl, he wins everywhere he goes. Tigers have been good. They'll be good again. Let's move on.
I just realized I only have Alabama and Arkansas from the SEC in the top 10.
You know it'll be more than that eventually.
That's probably not right, yeah.
But that's why we call it a way too early top 10.
That's right.
Because honestly, you shouldn't even rank anybody until, I don't know, week 5, week 6, maybe start ranking people.
Yeah. Any list where Duke is ahead of North Carolina is a great list. I disagree, Bobby. I disagree. I think UNC should be above Duke every time.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you the number of times that we beat UNC for a national championship and the number of times we beat Duke for a national championship. Duke's ahead in that one too, Bobby.
There you go. Dale's in the building as well. What's up, Dale? Nice to see you, man. All right, so that's the top 10. Way too early top 10.
Top 10. Way too early.
And I like this. We should probably put a disclaimer on the beginning of the show that says we're not professionals. We don't go to Vegas betting on our.
I think if anybody watches 5-10 minutes, they will realize we are not professionals. Hey, did you hear Kate and Clark got fouled? Kate and Clark got fouled.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you where there's not some fouls. All right, let's see. Hang on a minute. Where are we at? Was that okay? So let's
take a break.
Let's take a break for a second and let me get a drink and we'll be right back. I got another funny commercial for you.
Okay.
This is Sheriff Cooter Wilmot of the Boudreaux Parish Sheriff Gas Station Beer, Bait, Barbecue, Barbershop, Laundromat Department. Remember our motto in Boudreaux Parish: we will find you and we will tase you. Hose water. Whether you've been playing hard or working hard, when your thirst needs to be quenched, there's hose water. Found at any retailer where sports drinks are sold. Or connected to your faucet in the backyard if you don't want to pay $4 for it. Hose water. Get yours today.
This is an emergency message. Stop what you're doing and hit the like button. Also comment and subscribe. Thank you. We now return you to your program.
I hit the wrong commercial. I had to play the second one so you'd see it. What's up?
I honestly believe that's the reason I'm 48 and I've just now having my first surgery is because I drank from the hose when I was a kid.
No, that's why you made it this far. That's why you made it this long.
Yeah.
All right, let's go right in. We're doing well here. So let's we got NBA Finals, man. We got the game tonight. We got game 5 tonight.
Wow.
At Boston, right? Is that right? At Boston?
Yeah.
So what
do you want to talk about? You want to talk about how it's over, how it's unforeseen that the Mavs win, or do you want to talk about how the Mavs could pull this off? What do you want to talk about?
It depends on how you feel. I kind of feel like Boston's probably going to put the hammer down and end this thing tonight. That's how I feel is what's going to happen.
I think. Okay.
I think the only reason they lost game 4 was so they could come back here and do it here.
you got a 50-50 shot, okay, of being right here. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So here's what I'm gonna say. All you people out there listening, if you view in time before the ball game comes on, you go to Vegas and you bet exactly the opposite of what I'm about to tell you. Okay. I think the Mavs, if Boston did lose that game or didn't put enough effort into it so they could go home and win it, they made a mistake, because what you did is you gave the Mavs a little bit of hope, a little bit of, I don't know, fire or whatever. I mean, I think the Mavs can win again. I think if they come out and they play like they did in that last game, if they actually rotate and freaking get out on shooters and Luka actually plays some defense without fouling, I still think that we're getting pushed around. I wish they would get a little bit more physical with the Boston Celtics. I say I have no stake in this whatsoever. Okay. I just kind of rooting for the Mavs more than I am Boston. I don't really care who wins, but they need to go out and they need to be more physical, because they've been pushed around like a bunch of chumps. I mean, Celtics have been more physical in 3 of the 4 ball games, and Dallas needs to come out and they need to show that they're there and they ain't going to lay down and they ain't taking this crap no more. Now, will it happen? I have no idea, man. They might come out and lay a big, huge egg and Boston wins it tonight and they have the parade tomorrow. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But it's going to be fun to watch, hopefully.
I agree. I hope it's fun to watch too. I think it will be. I think they'll make a game of it. I just don't have much faith in them in Boston at home. I think they put the hammer down.
Well, I mean, if you're the Mavs, that's kind of how the attitude you got to have coming in, like it's us against the world. You know, nobody believes that we can do this except us. We got to go out there and we got to prove it. And let me tell you something. They win this one in Boston and you roll back to Dallas and you got all the momentum and everything. You might be looking at a 7-game series. They got to get through this one first, though. And this is going to be their toughest game so far, because the Boston fans are going to be into it. They're going to be yelling and screaming loud. Tatum and Brown are probably going to bring their A game, because, that's usually what they do. Tatum, not so much, but he's been picking it up. I'm trying not to be partial. I really am. I'm trying not to be partial. I grew up not liking the Celtics, though. So
See, that's so strange, man. When I grew up, it was either you be Magic or you be Bird. Who are you going to be?
No.
And if you're playing with somebody else, you took who was left over. My cousin would pick Magic every time. I'm Magic. I'm like, all right, well, I'm Bird. I'm fixing to rain some threes on your head, and that's what I did.
They're one of the teams that I didn't like growing up, because the same reason that I'm not an Alabama fan or whatever. They won all the time when I was a kid. I rooted for the underdog. I was an underdog guy. I always have been. I always root for the underdog. That's why I don't do any good gambling. It's because I'm always rooting for the underdog.
Yeah, I am too, in a way. I like to see the good guy win.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like watching old wrestling. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Just you root for this baby face to finally get over, and the heel just keeps beating him down. But then when he finally does do it, man, oh my gosh, it is so wonderful. It just makes you feel warm inside. It's just great.
It is good. It is good. As far as the NBA finals go, my personal non-professional opinion, I think Celtics get her done tonight. Finish the series. They don't want to go 6. You go 6, you go back to Dallas, right? You don't want to do that. You got to win tonight. You got to win. You got to put it away.
Yeah,
Final
for
thoughts?
For Boston, this is definitely a must win. They must win this.
I didn't want to use that word because I knew you'd call me out on it, but that's what I was thinking.
They've got a 3-1 lead. This is not a must win. They've got, and it's not unheard of for a team to win 3 in a row and then lose 3 in a row. It happens in the regular season all the time. And
Yeah.
it's hard to beat the same team over and over again. You get to know each other. They get to know what plays you like to run. I mean, you got to keep things fresh as a coach. You got to bring
Yeah.
in little niches that you maybe haven't used all year long. And it just, it's tough. It's tough that's also why it's so hard to repeat as a champion, because people hone in on you and they watch maybe your game film more than they watch anybody else's game film. And you get everybody's best every night. And
Yeah.
it is very, very tough and it doesn't matter what sport you're talking about, baseball, basketball, football, it don't matter. It is hard to repeat.
Yeah. I agree. Well, we'll see what happens. I'm going to watch the game after a while, and I'm sure we'll be texting during the game or whatnot.
Oh, I'm sure, man.
But let's move on here. So let's talk about a little Arkansas baseball right quick. We'll do a little quick recap. I know we're both kind of still upset about the losing the regionals or whatever, and it's kind of hard to watch the College World Series. Right, I haven't watched any games at all. I just see highlights or whatever, But on the positive side of things, okay, because the transfer portal is open. There's not a lot of the bigger names, are still out there. Obviously, a couple have come off the board, but the ones I've seen so far. So, did you hear that we got Kahuya Aloy's brother?
No, I did not hear that. That is,
Yeah. He played for BYU. He was a Big 12 freshman, all freshman team. He's a first base DH.
first base DH. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
But
McLaughlin's playing first base now. So
I thought he graduated.
did McLaughlin? Well, he might have. There's so many transfers come in. I don't know what year anybody is, man. He might have.
I'm so saying we just need to probably recap a little bit because I haven't dug real deep into that either. I just know that they've so far we've picked up 3 transfers. One of them is I can't say his name.
Just Aloy's brother.
Aloy's younger brother. We picked up a guy named Carson Hansen, is an outfielder. I missed where he went to school. He batted .317 with 25 doubles and 11 home runs. So not too bad. And then earlier today or yesterday, Charles Davalin from Florida Gulf Coast hit .290, 10 home runs, 38 RBIs. So he's supposed to. I saw a lot of comments that he was supposed to be a decent player. They were pretty happy about that. We've only had one player that's entered the portal, which is pretty good. For a long time, we were one of the teams on the list of nobody's left, nobody's entered the portal.
Yeah.
Hunter Grimes. He redshirted. He's been there for 2 years. I don't know who that is. They had a couple of highlights like he played, but I don't remember.
He got in. He got in a couple of ball games, but he didn't get in that much. That's the problem with Arkansas baseball. Is that we got a bench full of guys that would be starting on other teams, and Van Horn has problems getting them in the ball game.
Yeah, I heard somebody talking about that they had 12 to 14 guys that could all play, and it's hard to get them in and stuff, and just the pitching staff. I don't know, man. We started off so good at the beginning of the year, and they just faded off. I don't know if they got tired or what. And then
they were. We can go through the schedule, and I can tell you the scores, man. We wore them out, is what we did. We could not produce enough scoring. They were having to win ball games, 2-1, 3-2, all these low scoring ball games. And we kept waiting for the bats to wake up, and they would wake up for like one ball game and then they would go away. It's like we could never keep it rolling. And then by the end of the year, our pitching staff, Taggart didn't even go in the SEC tournament. Hagan goes out and throws in our regional and he has 2 bad batters, and we end up losing the ball game off his 2 bad batters, man. And he had just been lights out. He was named the perfect pitcher of the I got to look it up now. He won an award this year.
He's won a bunch of awards.
Perfect game pitcher of the year. And then Gackle, here's you some hope, right? Gackle earned second freshman All-American honor. So Gackle looked really good this year.
Yeah.
Some of the pitching that we get back, I think we get back Cage Wood. We get
Faust back, I think.
Yeah, we get Faust back. And both Gackle and Faust, they were both invited to the USA Baseball Collegiate National Team training camp. They got a chance to go to the Olympics, man. How sweet would that be?
I saw that, yeah. I think Molina's supposed to be back too.
Yeah.
So we should have
my biggest, I hope he's not watching. Okay, I hope he's not watching. But my biggest disappointment of the year was McIntyre. McIntyre was lights out pitching for us last year, and he never looked like himself this year. I don't know if he went into the offseason and tried to change some things or tried to, tweak this or tweak that, but he just never. And every time he came in the ball game, I could almost guarantee at some point he was going to give up a home run. He might strike out 4 in a row and then give up a home run. Our biggest problem our pitchers had in the last 3 series and then on into the SEC tournament and the regionals was balls, man. We were putting guys on base, we'd end up with 2 guys on base and then have to bring in a new pitcher and he'd have to work around these 2 guys on base. It's like we could not throw strikes this year.
Yeah.
And I guess you gotta finish this segment off by talking about the fact that there are, I call them idiots. You call them whatever you want, that actually want to get rid of DVH. I don't think DVH is the problem. I don't think he did anything coaching wise this year that kept us from winning or anything like that. His guys did not perform like they were supposed to.
I agree. Our runners in scoring position, I'm going to end on this. That one, I don't know the exact number, but I can tell you that we left so many people on base. We could just not get in. It would have made such a big difference. That was seemed like every game it would be like 13 RISPs. This game, it's like holy moly, we can't.
Well, it seemed like every time we got somebody on base, we'd already have 2 outs. We couldn't put anybody on base. We couldn't get our leadoff runner on.
Yeah.
And then if we did, we had a couple ball games where our leadoff runner got on almost every inning and we just left him standing out there.
Yeah.
If there was anything that I wish we would improve on coaching, I wish we would be a little more aggressive on the base paths. We don't hardly steal. We don't throw down bunts. I know it's small ball and not everybody likes small ball, but sometimes you need small ball, especially in a close ball game.
Yeah.
So I kind of like to see them be a little bit more aggressive on the bases and stuff like that.
Yeah, everybody wants that gorilla ball, but DVH even mentioned that they need a different type of athlete, and I think that's what he was talking about. Was they need guys that can steal bases, that can go from first to third or second to home. And score on a single, you know what I mean? Like we need guys like that. So
I guess you can't talk about the Arkansas baseball season without talking about Diggs. God, do I love this kid. I love everything about Diggs. I love his composure. I love his leadership. I don't know. I know he was battling a shoulder injury. I know that I know that he was struggling this year, but he just underperformed all year long, and I just really feel bad for that kid. Him and Hagen Smith, I probably feel the worst for on that whole team.
Yeah, I'd agree. Well, we will definitely dig more into the baseball team and stuff as the transfer portal continues. Like I said, this is the only 3 I've seen so far. There could be more. Like there could have been some more today. I don't really know. And I don't know when the portal closes either. I didn't look that up, but
I don't know.
we
It's kind of
should,
weird. It
they're waiting
opened.
on big names is what they're waiting on. So we'll see. And I mean, the World Series is not even over yet. So, I mean, you're going to have some kids off those teams too. But anyway, we'll see what happens there. Anyway, we'll have more Arkansas baseball in-depth stuff later on too. But so last thing, the Dallas Cowboys. Let's talk about them for just a few minutes before we get out of here.
What do you want to talk about? Man?
Well, I did a little more research on that, and it's not Micah's contract is not up.
Okay.
He just wants a new deal. Basically.
Okay. Well, sure.
Yeah. But Dak and CD and Lawrence, I think that was it as far as the big names. All those have one more year. So you're gonna have to re-sign all of them to something. And I'm a lot of the Cowboy podcasts and stuff are talking about possible rebuild next year if things don't go well this year. And I don't know. I don't know. Part of me thinks they ought to go ahead and trade Dak and get what they can for him instead of playing out this final year, but we'll see.
Well, I guess if you're Jerry, you could take the risk and you could put all of your chips in this year, and you could not sign Dak and not sign CD and not sign Lawrence, and just see how the pieces fall at the end of the year.
Yeah.
You are losing trade value. And if you were going to do that, you think that you would try to, upgrade some spots that you have, like, I don't know, maybe Derrick Henry would have been a good addition.
They ain't got the money. They ain't got the money, dude. They don't have. They were talking about Alvin Kamara.
Yeah,
they don't have the money. They were talking about a couple other ones. They can't do that?
How do they plan on re-signing CD and Dak if they ain't got the money?
That's why they ain't done it yet. That's why they're talking about a rebuild.
Well,
they're gonna sign CD. They'll probably sign him, and Dak is. I would say they're going to trade him. I would think they would trade him before they cut him, or they're going to sign him and keep everybody. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do.
How are you supposed to know, man? How are you supposed
to know? That deal?
Nobody knows what Jerry's going to do. Jerry don't even know what Jerry's going to do.
I know. Well, you got to do CD, you got to do Dak, and you got to do Micah. I don't know if that's the right order or not, but you got to do those three. You got to. If you're going to keep trying to win now, if you're going to rebuild, then you should start trading some people. And
if you're going to rebuild, you might as well get some trade value out of Dak.
Dak's got a no trade clause supposedly.
Oh, really? Well, good for him. Cowboy through and through.
So
then I would probably play him out to the end of the season, and I don't know.
That sucks. Then you ain't gonna get nothing for him.
Well, you might get a championship. Who knows? He might come out let's say you don't re-sign him, all right? And you tell him, all right, this is your contract year, man. Go out there and make you money. I mean, you might get better play out of him. Who knows? If he thinks he's.
Yeah. I think it's time to rebuild. I don't think Mike McCarthy's going to win you a championship.
I think we've been rebuilding since 1995. How many times you want to rebuild this thing?
Yeah, but you've been 12-4 in 3 years in a row.
You're an NFL team with millions of dollars. I don't understand why it takes years to rebuild your team. It should take a matter of, I don't know, a couple weeks, you'd think.
Because they mismanage their money.
Yeah. Imagine that.
Just like every other big corporation. I know that they're looking at a bunch of these UFL guys. That's kind of a new trend thing. I guess I didn't know this, but the championship game was the other day. The Stallions, I think, won supposedly. But there's supposedly some top recruits, top guys coming out of those. They're using it as kind of like
I saw
breeding ground for NFL players or whatever.
Yeah, I saw an article. I can't remember where it might have been Bleacher Report or something like that. I saw an article about, Wade Phillips is one of the head coaches for that league.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think I
reveal
would,
that.
Dale. I mean, it's not gonna. That's the best it's gonna get for us. That's the best it's gonna get. It's not gonna get better than that.
See, I love the positivity coming out of your end of the microphone.
I'm just saying, dude. I mean, we might go 10, 10-5 or whatever, 10-7.
Yeah. Anyway, Wade Phillips is one of the head coaches of that team, one of those teams.
Oh,
And he's been coaching a defensive end or something like that. And he's been talking to coaches in the NFL, telling them, this is a guy that you need to look at. This is a guy you need to look at.
So Marshawn Nealon, I actually heard that name. I don't know much about him though. I need to look up a little more info on that guy. But if that's the case, that's a good deal because Lawrence is getting the kind of long in the tooth.
He's been there a while now.
He's been there a while. Phillips coaches San Antonio, I think.
San Antonio.
So anyway, I don't have much.
He's got a defensive end or something like that he thinks can play in the league, and he's been letting coaches know about it.
Okay, well,
I guess the big news today out of the NFL is this. I didn't really understand the logistics of it or whatever, but the Direct Ticket is being sued for like $100 million or something like that for the packages they've been selling, or I don't know. I didn't really understand what they were being sued for. It wasn't very clear. But Roger Goodell had to show up in court today, and that's what they keep showing on TV over and over. It's him walking into court.
I didn't see that. I had to work this morning, and then, like I said, I went to the ultrasound.
Oh, well, did you see Caitlin Clark got fouled?
Stop it. Oh, Lil Dice said for price gouging customers.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
I figured something like that.
Lawsuit.
Yeah. I figured,
all right.
Yeah. I knew it was something, figured it was something like that.
Well, the people reporting on it are not very clear about what's going on. They're just talking about how Roger Goodell is going to handle this and all that. They're not real into the details about what's really going on. I did hear today that Netflix has picked up a couple of ball games. And I think that's bull crap, because that means I got to go buy a Netflix account. I don't want a Netflix account.
Just you don't have
Netflix? No, I don't have Netflix. No.
What?
No, man.
I do, but I don't ever watch it, but I do have it. That new era basketball tournament I was telling you about a while ago, they said it was going to be on a streaming service. They didn't say which one.
Well, I hope it's one of the ones I do stream. I hope it's not one of the ones I don't.
The rumor is Paramount.
Okay. I don't think I have that one. Wait, that might be in with my Disney bundle. I don't know. I'll have to look. That might be in with my Disney bundle.
Okay.
I know it was a pain. I was glad last year that I had Amazon Prime, because I could watch a couple of the ball games, the Thursday night games.
You have to have all the streaming platforms this season.
NFL on Netflix this Christmas Day. Are you kidding me? Big, I'm doing Christmas at your house, man.
All right.
Because you just said you had a Netflix account. So it looks like I'm going to Big's house for Christmas.
Come on up. Come on up. There wasn't a whole lot of news about the Cowboys, really. I mean, it's like I said, they're, everybody's getting ready for the draft, or coming out of the draft and getting their rookies situated, and camps and all that stuff are going on.
I hear the rookies that we actually drafted were having a pretty good mini camp. I have the Cowboys app, and it gives me news about stuff, and that's one of the things I read, that they really liked how the rookies looked in the mini camp, the rookie mini camp or whatever. So I don't know. You can't tell anything this season, man. You can't. It's too early. There ain't enough going on.
Still in shorts and pads, ain't they?
Yeah,
probably. Hey, did they mention anybody specifically, or they just said rookies in general?
They were just talking about rookies. They're talking about TJ Bass one of the offensive linemen moving to center.
Okay.
There was some other news on there about, about the rookies, Ezekiel Elliott and his take on being back with the Cowboys, that kind of thing. It's just, it's pretty much fluff stuff just to keep a Cowboys guy reading something, keep them interested till the season starts,
Yeah.
I would, I do have it on my bucket list. I would love to go to a spring mini camp or something like that. Some fans do that. I think that might be fun.
That would be fun. We should do that.
We used to drive through Richmond, Indiana every once in a while.
Yeah.
And the Colts have a practice facility there. And that's where they do their mini camps, is in that little town of Richmond. And apparently it's a pretty big deal for that little bitty town. They bring in a lot of business and stuff. And I figured out that that's why a lot of teams travel for their spring camps, is to help other towns out and stuff like that. I thought that was kind of cool.
That is cool. That's cool. All right. Well, looks like I don't really have anything else about the Cowboys. Do you have anything else you want to say or talk about?
Well, it looks like I just got invited to the Saints Cowboys game in Arlington. So, that's kind of a big deal.
Who's that, Little Dice? What did he say? We're talking about meeting up in Arlington for the Saints vs. Cowboys game. Hey, man, I'm down.
I am too.
Let's make that happen.
You can pick me up on your way by, and we'll just head on down there, man.
Yeah. All right. Well, didn't really have anything else. We're going to end like we always do and talk about mental health, because that's a big deal. And we want everyone out there to be safe. And if you need help or need someone to talk to, there's a national hotline that you can call, 988, not to be confused with 911, 988. If you are struggling with anything, you need to talk to someone, you can call them and they will talk to you and help you out, or call a friend, call someone and get some help.
Yeah. Big shout out to the national hotline, 988. They do a lot of good work there.
Yep.
It's way too many people when you start looking up the statistics of how many people take their own lives every year. And I'm not even talking about the mental part of school shootings or stuff like that. I'm just talking about suicide. It will really shock you when you start looking into the statistics of it. And it makes up a large part of the gun violence in our country. If we could just cut down suicides, we could bring that stat really low too. It's a painful thing, stop and think about your family and think about what you're leaving behind. Talk to somebody, call the national hotline. Somebody will listen to you, I promise.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, appreciate everyone watching and listening and being a part of our show and our conversations. And we appreciate you. And be sure and hit that like and share and subscribe buttons. And we appreciate that. And we will talk to you on the next one. Appreciate it. Peace and love.
Thanks for watching our show. Remember to subscribe for more shows on the network. Smash the like button, share, and comment.